ideas. As always, you can reach me at zjayfi on PlayStation, zjayfi on YouTube, and Zachary Finnefrock on Facebook. Uh, so some of the changes that I made. First, this is the aces and eights build. Now that we only have to run 4 pieces, they've made a whole bunch of changes to the mod slots here. So now every single mod slot in these aces builds runs red. You can stack an incredible amount of damage. And so I was looking through at all these new talents, and you'll note that almost every one of the new talents requires you to stack red, whether it's vigilance or concussion or composed or spark. They all require you to stack red. So stacking red seems to be the new form of meta, or at least that's what they want us to do anyway, obviously. So I put vigilance into this. With an aces build, you generally tend to stay behind cover anyway and just hammer at something with your SVD. Therefore, trying to proc whatever buff, what it is we're looking for, aces, armor, or extra weapon ammo. So I thought, since you're going to be in cover anyway, vigilance is the perfect chess piece for this. It's going to give you 25% extra damage. If you get hit, you lose it for 4 seconds. Hey, no big deal. Aces hammers anyway, especially with all these reds. I know some people can get this a lot higher. Finally managed to crank this up to almost 90, but you absolutely could get it higher. I don't have mod slots for all, or I should say marksman rifle mods for all of these mod slots. I don't. So some of them, like this one, just has damage to armor and damage to health. But if you had marksman rifle, you could probably clear 100k just with an SVD alone. And your nemesis could probably go something disturbing like 650,000. I mean, just ridiculous numbers you can put out now. The other change I made, opportunistic is a lot better than it used to be. You don't have to destroy weak points anymore. Now all you have to do is hit something, and then everybody else who's putting damage into it gets more damage for 3 seconds. And this requires your marksman rifle to be drawn. But man, if all of us in a raid were to put that into our SVD builds for Buddy and Lucy, we would just tear them apart. And even if it doesn't stack, it doesn't matter. At least that way we know it's always procced. It's 10% more for Buddy and Lucy from everybody. So that's Ace's build. I don't usually run Aces. You guys who raided with me know Aces is not my favorite build to run, but I do have one. It's here. It's functional. I do not like what they have done to skills. Very, very, very disappointing, because it used to be that even with, a couple of batteries, at least you could run something, but not even close anymore. So let's see what else we got. The headshot build, I use this for Buddy and Lucy, not Buddy and Lucy, I should say. This is for Weasel exclusively. Made a few changes to this also. Let's see what we got here. This is a P416. I don't think it's in there for anything other than ads. This is what I plunk Weasel in the head with. It's 538k base, but we have quite a few buffs. I want to get concussion into this. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I guess I could just put it right in there. The only thing is that's like all of my health is on the mask right there, so I'll need to rework something. But I will eventually put this punch drunk mask into there. And boom, 20% extra damage for 5 seconds with Nemesis. That's just enough time to charge after the first shot and then plunk him in the head again, and then they'll get shorter and shorter with the Nemesis every time you hit him after that. The chest piece. Headshot damage and weapon damage. The talent didn't matter. The only thing that really mattered was that we had headshot damage and weapon damage, and Araldi has the highest rolls, so that's why that's in there. Precise headshot damage talent. Got opportunistic again on the gloves with the marksman rifle damage. Critical hit chance and weapon damage on the backpack, 10%. 3 pieces of Araldi also makes for 10% marksman rifle damage. And with the Nemesis and Aces proc, you can really, really hit somebody hard. And again, with the skills, I actually managed to run something here. Yeah, some skill haste. Better on this build. Not bad. Let's see what else we have. This is for Buddy and Lucy, SVD. I kept 2 pieces of Aces in here for the 10% marksman rifle damage. This one, not quite as high as the Aces build, because I don't have all those red mod slots. Still pretty high though. Once again, opportunistic gloves. Tear them up. Same backpack, same 3 pieces of Heraldi holdings. That's for the 10% additional marksman rifle. So you get 10% from 2 aces, 10% from 3 Heraldis, and same little headshot damage piece. I think the only thing that's different about this build is, obviously, since you're not going for headshots as much, you want 10% more marksman rifle damage because you're just going to be hammering away at them with that SVD every second, every chance that you get. Also, this piece is slightly healthier, makes a big difference with Buddy and Lucy. Weasel, you don't need as much health because it's going to be over really, really quick if you do it correctly. Anyway, always running in rhythm in all 3 of these. In rhythm is more important than ever because at least you have a chance for your skills to come back early. Finally, the one that I'm most excited about, and I spent probably about 14 or 15 hours grinding this build. This was a real pain in the ass to put together, but I'm very, very proud of it. This is my new tarmac slash ad clear slash razorback slash boomer build. I'll be using this for most of the raid, just not for Weasel and not for Buddy and Lucy. Any other time I'll be using this particular build. This build obviously is full of reds. They want us to stack reds because all of the new talents require you to stack reds, and so you might as well just stack as much possible damage as you can since they nerfed the damage on everything. You'll notice I'm not running Eagle Bearer. I wish I could, but I'll show you guys how this works. Spark. Spark requires 9 or more reds. Damaging enemies with skills or explosives grant 15% weapon damage for 15 seconds. Well, if you look at the Merciless Holster talent, while holstered, landing a shot has a 5% chance to deal 100% damage as explosive damage. So about once every 20 bullets, I'm going to get explosive damage. And that is immediately going to proc Spark, meaning I should have almost 100% uptime with this. Now, you won't have 100% uptime because I think there is a hidden cooldown, but it's very, very short. It's like 5 seconds tops. You can almost get it right back. And the reason I chose an M4 for this, it does have low damage, but I chose an M4 for this because of its rate of fire is constantly going to be, it handles very well and it has a high rate of fire. So I'm really going to be pouring out those critical hits. Since we're stacking all these reds, we might as well put critical hit in, and that means I put killer in there. Well, I didn't put killer, it came on it, but that gives you 50% extra critical hit damage when you kill an enemy with a critical hit. So we also have the new perfect concussion in there. Also requires reds with 47% damage to elites. Headshots grant 20% headshot damage for 2 seconds, 5 seconds with marksman rifles. Now this is mostly going to be effective against Boomer when we knock him down at the turret, and against the boomers at Razorback who just stand right there and we need to shoot him in the head. Piece of cake. That's 20% extra headshot damage every time. It's going to be great. Like I said, I'm also going to put that in the Weasel build. This chest piece is insane. I've had this chest piece since like TU6, before there even was a tidal basin to run. This is one of my oldest chest pieces. It's actually from my original raid build. If you look up one of my original raid build videos, you'll see this chest piece in there. And I told you that I wasn't very successful with the particular build that I had at this time, or at that time. But this one right here is perfect for what I'm trying to do, which is critical hit with weapon damage with 4 independent red-based damage talents. So we've got Berserk. As always, you guys know how I feel about Berserk. I love it. I love it to death. I love getting my armor shot off and then I hit harder. So much harder. The only thing that make it better, I wish it was perfect Berserk, but hey, I'm going to hit so hard with this build, it's going to be ridiculous. Critical hit damage, critical hit chance, hard hitting. Also, mod slot, love the damage to health mods with the assault rifle. Gila Guard holster, double reds, 13.5 critical hit damage, and one of only 4 blues I'm allowed to have, because you know what critical hit means, we're running clutch. Oh, I forgot, I've got critical hit damage mod in there. I've also got assault rifle damage. Excellent. We've got the Providence Defense backpack, mostly running that for the skill power, but I can't run any skills anyway. I originally had 2 pieces of Providence in here, and I am going to eventually have 2 pieces for 8% more health. That makes a big difference. It takes me up to 105k, then I'll have 205, be 310 total. 205 and 105. Be much better. But we have 14% critical chance on the backpack here. Spark, proc it constantly with the Merciless. And we have Vital. That's very important. Buff that health up. We have 6% assault rifle damage. Gloves, Murakami's for 8% health. Got a little bit of a health roll there. 13,000, 11% assault rifle damage. And clutch, of course. Requires 4 or less blues. So you can only have 4 blues in this build. And you have to use an LMG, SMG, or assault rifle. You used to be able to do it with a shotgun, but apparently not. Oh, that's Berserk. Berserk, you can still use the shotgun. And then another one of the new talents. This one's the most expensive. 10% weapon damage while you're in cover, and it costs 11 reds. This is the toughest one to spec for because it requires all those reds. And if you're going to put all those reds in, you might as well go critical. It is tough to get a right balance of critical, but it can be done with 3% LMG, 3% assault rifle mod in there, and more critical hit chance. Now, these are Douglas Hardings, which gives me 10% critical hit damage in the gear set. You could put a piece of Wyvern in here, or a piece of Wyvern in here for more critical hit damage. Honestly though, I really like the way this is balanced right now. It works out pretty good. I'm going to take a look at the stats here. You've seen all the pieces. You know where I'm running. We have 20,000 weapon damage, 44.5% critical hit chance, 62% critical hit damage. So we're really going to hit hard. 4.5 out of every 10 bullets are going to do 60% extra damage. I've got 30% stability. That's all due to the TAG 50. 19.5 all weapons damage bonus. It's a little on the low side, but with all that crit, it doesn't make much of a difference. Not to mention we're going to be getting 15% more from Spark, 15% more from Composed, 50% assault rifle damage bonus because of all these mods, and we have 72% damage to elites. So we're really not giving up much here except for the health. The build is lean. It is a lean build. But you're going to crit so much, clutch is going to keep you full. And even if it doesn't, you can always duck down, use your armor kit if you have to. And I've got the chem heal in there. I can always hit the trigger for that. You don't need to run any skills because you don't have any skill power. You got a long wait for this Reviver Hive to come back. It is unfortunate. I have not figured out how I'm going to be able to jam some skill power into this. What I'm going to do eventually is go craft some blue mods with skill haste. And I figure if I can get a blue skill haste here and a blue skill haste here, I might be able to cut this in half. That's about the best I can do. Don't need any on the cooldown. This one is fine how it is. Show you guys how it works. This thing actually just shreds. I'll change this up to a named enemy, so it's going to be the toughest enemies that you'll encounter in the normal game. Damage ourselves up really quick.
Immediate medical assistance
we're really hurt now. $1.1 million just on one target alone. Up to 1.6 with 2 targets. This build just absolutely shreds. And you can see Composed is there. Spark just procced right there. Now we're even going to hit harder. 1.775. This build just absolutely tears people apart. I did decide to put extra in it instead of Allegro, but if you were to put Allegro into it, it would be excellent stuff. So you can see we've got Berserk, we've got Spark, we've got Composed, and oh yeah, look, there is no cooldown on Spark. You can proc it constantly. You see it come back there? I am just thrilled about this build. So thanks everybody for watching. The only thing that concerns me is the health. The health is walking a tightrope. So thanks everybody. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the video or leave a comment on the Facebook post I'm going to make, and I would love to hear from you about how this could be better, how I could get more health in there, get a little bit stronger, or how I could get a better cooldown on my Reviver Hive. You guys have fun playing the new update. Thanks so much.